A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And the reason that you believe it is because you think it, and then things actualize around it to confirm the thought. So you know you're right because you believe it, because you think the thought and things keep actualizing around it to confirm the thought. When you have the advantage of seeing the request and seeing where someone is in relationship to the request, it doesn't mean that, in other words, our friend really did not need us to stand there with his inner being and try to coax him forward, because his inner being is coaxing him forward. The only value that we have to you, or that any of you have to others, is if you can say something or shine a light on something that causes a willingness to focus slightly different, because when you focus slightly different, then your point of attraction shifts, and then the evidence shifts too. We were attempting something that we don't often attempt, and we don't really encourage, a sort of quantum leap in thinking. In other words, we ask a lot of you. First of all, when we ask you to never mind reality, that's really a big thing to ask of you, because you've been taught to face reality every day of your life. You've been comparing your reality with other people's realities. Focusing on reality seems to be the order of the day. You have all kinds of piles of good and bad. You have laws in order to sort it out. In other words, the majority of the life that the majority of people live is outside the vortex, just sorting out the details and trying to decide whose details are better than others. But you're all powerless in getting anybody to deal with their details in a different way than you would like them to deal with them. In other words, it's sort of not working out very well in terms of the satisfaction of life. So when we visit with you and we say to you that you are vibration first and foremost, and that your reality as it exists now does not mean diddly squat, that's hard to hear when you've just had a financial decline that is evidenced by bank accounts, by your ability to purchase, by so many things. You're getting all this feedback from life that says, no, Abraham, it's this way. And we say, your now reality is the only, your belief in your now reality, your attention to your now reality is the only thing that keeps you from your vortex reality, your vibrational reality, which is the reality that you want. Now think about it in terms of sickness. If you're sick, maybe you've got the flu, maybe you have a bigger disease that they have given you a label that's scary. So you're standing in a body that is sick, and you don't want to be, but it's real. You get up and your head hurts, and you move your body and it feels weak, and you try to eat and the food doesn't taste good. It's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. And then here we come along, we're so chipper and frisky, we're standing over here in your vibrational reality, and we're talking about the enhanced well-being that you have created as a result of your sifting through this sickness. And we're saying to you, you are so well, you are so frisky, you feel so good, you have so much vitality, your body is at the top of its game, you have you have energy to spare, you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you are more alive than you've ever been. We get it that you want to say, Abraham, look at me, I'm sick. We get it. And our only value to you is that we refuse to see your sickness. We will only see your wellness. But us seeing it doesn't do it for you. You got to want to look over here too. You got to want to look over here. You got to believe in this vibrational reality with such fervor that you distract yourself from the sickness even though it hurts. That you distract yourself from the decline in your bank account even though you're afraid. You have to want so much to tune into the wholeness that you have become that you are willing to ignore all of the reality details and all of the evidence and all of the people from the peanut gallery that are pointing to you and calling this, all the people that give you the diagnosis and all of the people that are giving you your credit report. You have to ignore reality if you will ever move in the direction of vibrational reality, because you cannot do both at the same time. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And the thing that keeps you from doing the one is the other. In other words, I go this way and this way and this way and this way and this way, which means you don't move at all. But when you go this way and this way and this way and this way and this way, when you try for hope, when you try for belief, when you leave the argument behind, when you leave the justification behind, when you leave the rationalization behind, when you leave the reality behind, when you finally pronounce to all who are hearing and even those who cannot hear you, reality as it exists does not mean diddly squat. It has always and ever only been the bouncing off place for who I really am, and who I really am is this being who feels love and confidence and security and vitality and well-being, this being who has trained myself into the feeling of it, and not without reason, because only a little bit of effort at training myself into the feeling of it brings evidence, brings more evidence, brings more evidence, brings more evidence. It's not like we're asking you to just believe until you croak and then get your reward in heaven. Others do that to you, but we do not. We say to you, when you find reason to get into your vortex and hold vibrational alignment with what's in the vortex, the evidence comes, and it comes quickly, and it comes quickly, and it comes quickly, because you are deserving beings, and you are beings of well-being. You are beings who are creators. Life is supposed to be good for you. And if you were not lazy about your thought, if you would not let reality, oh, I can think of that easy because I can see it right there. It's really easy to think it's easier to turn on the television and watch someone else's portrayal of life, and the terrible portrayal of life that they give you. They look all around the planet to try to find something wrong. They slant it even more negatively. They dramatize it with music, and then they bring it right into your living room, and they say, this is the picture of life on planet Earth. And we say, no, it is not. It is not even an accurate picture of life on Earth. It is a distorted point of view, because so much of the world has discovered that you will give more of your attention to things if it smacks of a problem than you will to something if it smacks of love and upliftment, you see. You must reorient yourself. You must care. You must care about the way you feel more than everything else put together. The way you feel must ring as the most powerful thing that has ever come to you. You must care with all that you are to be in alignment with who you are. And when you do, you will easily, just as this man says, I can do that, I can do that. I will have a quantum leap. I will no longer talk about the issue. I will no longer speak of this issue, because speaking of this issue is the only thing that is keeping me from the solution that Source is lined up with, and that law of attraction has gathered for me. Makes you want to focus, doesn't it?